Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, and today we're going to be taking out Scooty Puff Jr. This is going to be my XF-85. This aircraft was only available for a limited amount of time, and essentially is going to be an FJ-1 or an F-86 Sabre. Tier 9 obviously, it plays exactly the same way. The difference is it only has 4 of the machine guns instead of 6 like we're used to, but it's still going to be a fairly effective piece of machinery. You just need to make sure you're choosing your fights, you're using your altitude to your advantage as an altitude fighter, and you're going after these enemy aircraft with extreme prejudice. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a target that is worth our while. We see that there's a player down here in this Japanese fighter aircraft. This is also a premium aircraft that's only offered every so often. It's fairly maneuverable, strong guns, but if I can get behind him, which I know I can, we can absolutely wreck him. That aircraft is now on fire and dead. Let's come back around and go after this air defense aircraft. We just had this I-260 go past us. Let's go ahead and give him a hard time as well. The thing about having only 4 machine guns, you just gotta get closer. You get closer, they can't do anything about you. The aircraft is so light and small that this thing is essentially an engine with wings and was meant to be a parasite fighter that deployed out of a bomber aircraft. Americans experimented with the idea of doing this type of a tactic with a parasite fighter in the past, but this actually proved to be a little bit of a failed concept because the ability to rejoin with the mothership was actually extremely difficult endeavor and very dangerous for both aircraft and pilot. Let's go ahead and go after this aircraft again. Oh, he sees me. Let's not be on the front end of his guns. Try and get up behind him. We are fighting in the clouds here. We have the engine, the power to weight ratio to get on him, get these guns on target, and he's gone. We captured the zone, which is what we're looking for, and we can maintain control of this area. What else we got? Who are you? F-94. Hey, friend.
The enemy is launching rockets at us from the military base.
Whoa, easy. Keep those guns on target, you can wreck anything. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people like to complain that this aircraft doesn't make any sense. It only has 4 machine guns. Machine guns are terrible, but the closer you get with them, and they'll work. You'll notice when this thing's in the hangar, it actually has a hook on the front of it, because that's how it was meant to rejoin with the mothership. It would actually catch a wire and get pulled back into the bomb bay via that hook. Alright, Hawk. Alright, attacker. We can do this. Now you're dead. Bye. We got a Tempest down here. Nice thing about being a tier 9 premium aircraft, one, I can put my F-86 pilot in here just fine. Works out just fine. And then on top of that, you can also face off against tier 8 aircraft. Seems way easier to do. Let's go ahead and find a new target maybe. Yep. Yeah, if we can keep killing aircraft as they come in here, we will maintain this zone, which is great because that means their rocket's wasting its rocket fire. I'm okay with that. Come on back around, F-94D. This is gonna be that JL. Nope, yeah, it's the attacker. It's okay. Already lit him on fire, which is what we knew was going to happen. Let's do it again. Hope you used a fire extinguisher on that one, buddy. Next target. Oh, Seahawk? I don't think so. Let's get in behind him. Perfect. I'd say if you're inside of 1,000 feet, you're using your machine guns fairly effectively. Multi-rolls tend to have more health, so a little bit of a dangerous endeavor, but let's go ahead and get in on this F2G. Love my F2G, by the way. What a great airframe. Carries an absolutely monster air-to-ground bomb as well as air-to-air rockets, so you don't need to choose between the two. So for the indecisive of us, we get everything we were asking for.
Air supremacy achieved.
There we go. Another aircraft down. Here with the sky badge. No air defense aircraft, I want it. There's that attacker again. Attackers are supposed to be fast, but I can keep up with this guy just by bursting
Victory is
my
in
boost.
sight. Keep it up.
I'm gonna wait. I don't want him to maneuver before I'm ready. So he's not even paying attention to me, and now I'm already in that 1,000-foot mark we're looking for. And he's gonna have trouble getting away from us. See ya. Next.
Be advised, a line of thunderstorms is approaching. We'll soon be unable to provide support. Do you copy? Over.
Yep.
Great job today.
Relatively quick
We'll
game.
be waiting for you back
Holding
home.
the center sometimes on a site like this, when you know that you've got some other teammates to kind of back you up, means that you're pretty much guaranteed to continue to advance on the team. We got a whole myriad of different medals here, but I just wanted to prove the point that while the XF-85 in the past people have said, you know, it only has 4 machine guns, there wasn't much of a point in getting it. I got it purely for the novelty. I like the look of it. I like the idea of the Parasite Fighter. It flabbergasted me that they decided to put it in the game. But let's take a look at the ink plate here and see how we did. That's a credit income, guys. A Tier 9 Premium, 357,000 credits. 9,000 experience, which is going to go straight to the crew, and 2 tokens. So when we take a look at this thing, we managed to kill 15 aerial targets. I destroyed 8 while we were defending. Got 320 capture points. We'd have gotten a few more aircraft. We would have maxed this out even further, but you don't even need to do that in order to get grade 1 in this aircraft. And you'll also note here that 21,000 towards this F-86 pilot. That is absolutely awesome. I know these crew skills are not the right crew skills. I was waiting to get some credits, haha, in order for me to change that. Running non-premium, that would have been a 238 silver endeavor there, so that was a good move. So let's go ahead and do a reset here. This is going to cost me some credits, and somebody's probably going to cringe as I go through and click on these skills. We're always maneuvering. So if we can maneuver and put out a fire, somebody gave me this advice, was it Dimitri, I think? You're absolutely right, that is going to be a better option, and yeah, we're maneuvering. We're maneuvering all the time. This skill right here, the advice given to me was, look, this is going to increase the ability of any modules you have on here that are for maneuverability and speed by 40%. So we have 2 maneuverability and 1 acceleration one on here, 1 for engine power. So this is going to boost that. So we're going to go ahead and click that on. I want to be aerobatic, I want to be maneuverable. I know this thing is going to be more of an altitude fighter, but you saw us just absolutely manipulating the battlefield. I'd like to maintain that control. I really enjoy it. Having Engine Guru on here is going to give us the ability to really be able to keep that aircraft up at higher altitude and be able to put the enemy on the back foot. Now, this is going to be controversial, and I'm okay with that, because until I get another skill point to get this thing up to a 10-point pilot, I would dump it into Engine Guru too, okay? But I wanted to be able to make sure I could put out the fires. I wanted to have maximum maneuverability. I want at least one of the Engine Gurus on here, but I'm going to put on Marksman 1. I fully admit I'm addicted to marksman skills, but I want to make sure that those bullets are landing and keep those shot groupings as tight as possible. I know these are nose mounted. I know they're not going to spread as much as they would if when they're on the wings, but with 4 machine guns or even 6 machine guns, I want to reduce that time to kill with these 50 kills. So we're going to throw Marksman 1 on here. Eventually we will swap it for Engine Guru 2 in order to maximize the overall engine performance. But for the time being, Marksman 1 is where it's going to live. Now, with that on there, we're looking at a maneuverability, a turn time of 9.6. At tier 9, very respectable for an altitude fighter. The airspeed characteristics with a boost, 563 miles an hour. You saw we were outrunning everything. Attackers moving across the battlefield, we were keeping up with them. We were chasing down the I-260s. It was doing just fine, keeping up and chasing things down. And its altitude performance is going to allow it to essentially operate in the same altitude bracket you'd expect an F-86 or an FJ-1. 8,500 feet. Now, like I said, visually there was a hook that's actually kind of pulled down forward on the airframe, but when it was supposed to reconnect with the bomber, it would raise this hook up, catch a wire, and then the wire would pull the entire little pod back up into the fuselage of the bomber, and these wings would actually fold up vertically right where the red and the silver meet on the wings. At least that's the way I remember seeing it depicted. But yeah, that's the concept. It's just a little jet, just all cockpit, and that's what this thing was built to do. I have opted to put on improved uprated engine, the uprated engine. Yes, there's a chance of fire, but doesn't matter. I can actually swap this out as well now that we have that ability to put fires out, but if I can put the fire out, who cares? It doesn't even matter. It's not going to cause enough damage. The engine cooling is going to allow me to kick that boost onto full gear and be able to get this thing shot up into space and dodge whatever's chasing me if it turns out that it's more maneuverable. But most of the time I'll be able to outmaneuver any aircraft up at the altitudes I'll be operating because I have lightweight wing frame and I'm also sporting lightweight power unit. I know this is going to reduce my overall hit point pool and increase the chance of getting critical damage on my wings. However, I also have reduced amount of critical damage as one of my first roll characteristics on the aircraft, so I'm counteracting that effect to a degree. And I know my engine's resistance to critical damage is going to be reduced here, but I seldom find myself losing my engine in this aircraft because I don't get myself into a position where I'm getting shot too much, so I'm not too worried about that. And again, keeping those guns on target, and I have a chance of fire. 10% chance of fire as a bonus characteristic is going to be money on almost any aircraft because it allows you to be able to continue to cause more damage over time, which is going to stack with the existing damage the machine gun's hitting the target. This is how we were able to light all those aircraft on fire. And it proves how effective that skill is. It's very impressive. So, and also highlights the importance of putting on firefighter on your aircraft, because if you don't have firefighter on your aircraft, you're going to get lit on fire, guys. There's only a few exceptions where I think you do not want to put firefighter on the aircraft. And thank you for having me look at this skill because you're absolutely right about this. All right, well, that pretty much concludes it, and enough pontificating on my part. There it is. There's the Goblin. Excellent airframe. I really enjoy it. I'm glad I got it. It was a birthday present from my wife, and fantastic airframe. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.